It is 12 minutes past 8 o'clock. We are going to the town of Port Douglas, where we find Matt Laskey. G'day, Matt.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Good. Thank you for pausing momentarily just to give me enough of a fright to think that you weren't actually there. That's good. Well played.
Yeah, no worries, mate. It's always makes you nervous when you're on radio and that happens.
Absolutely. Now, Matt, we have gone down this path to have a chat to you because we like going places that some people have never been before, in the words of Canned Heat. And I reckon there'll be a few people who have heard of Port Douglas, but are not exactly sure where it is. Fill us in.
Yeah, mate. So we're about an hour north from Cairns, obviously. So it's a long way. It's a long way up the top of Australia. Obviously, I'm originally from Tassie, and people go, you couldn't have picked somewhere further from Tassie. And I was like, I did try, but no. So yeah, right up the top corner of North Queensland. So it's a long trek up here, but one of those places that very cruisy lifestyle and beautiful spot to live.
Is it considered part of the Daintree? Are we in the right part of the world?
Yeah, that's correct. So Daintree is just north of us. Obviously, the oldest rainforest in the world. There's obviously very, very big with the tourists and the Croc cruises and all sorts of stuff up there. And it's, like I said, it's a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Crocs, because that seems to be the thing that people associate with that part of the world, how often do we get a Croc wandering down the main street of Port Douglas? And I mean in the animal sense. We'll come to the other sorts soon.
Yeah, well, not too often, but there is definitely some weird and wonderful stories when it comes to Crocs. I know a couple of the boys at the footy club went and played a game of golf over the weekend because we had the bye, and they were... one of them was taking a shot next to the water and it chased him up the bank. So it's there is definitely stories like that where Crocs can sort of pop up anywhere. And the first thing I was told when I moved up here was not to trust the puddle, and I stick by that.
Fair enough. Even if you can see the bottom of it, and even if it's only a hop, step, and jump across. No, fair enough too.
Yeah,
and obviously that golfer's nickname now is Lefty. Is that how he's known? Because he's lost his right arm?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
One limb down.
I played golf once in South Australia, and I can't remember where it was, somewhere down in the sort of Mount Gambier corner of the world, and hit one of my usual shots, which goes about 200 metres, but approximately 40 degrees to where it should have gone. And I went looking, couldn't find it anywhere, and then found it. There was a coiled up tiger snake with the ball in the middle of it. It was like a hole in one, absolutely. And do you know what? To this day, that ball is still there. I wasn't going anywhere near it, I got to tell you. Same with the Crocs, I would have thought.
Smart move.
Now, what's the segue on this? Okay, ready for it? Folks, listen to this. Oh, Crocs. I think there's a football team in your town, isn't there? What are they called?
Yeah, the Port Douglas Crocs.
Smooth, eh?
Yeah. Mate, we had to get it right with the mascot straight up, so we went straight to the top.
Yeah, nicely done. And not the Port Douglas Crocodiles, but the Crocs themselves.
Yeah, just the Port Douglas Crocs. Yeah, no crocodiles there, so just Port Douglas Crocs, and going pretty well this year too.
Now, we must point out to those playing along at home that we're talking about the animal variety, not the highly fashionable Queensland footwear.
Yeah, there's a lot of running jokes when there's a storm or there's a puddle laying around, that someone will put their Croc in a puddle and say there's been a Croc spotted somewhere, but I've seen it a few times now, so I'm getting a bit over that one.
Yeah, no, fair enough too. No, fair enough. Now, I won't embarrass you by asking you to list all of the AFL players that have graduated from the Port Douglas Crocs, but there was one that went the other way, I'm told, not all that long ago, an AFL player who came and played with the Crocs. Yeah,
so what was it now? 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had Dustin Martin come up and play, so it was... absolutely massive for our club and huge for our town. It brought a lot of people to the area. We had around 5,000 people through the gate, and it was very good financially for us on the back of that. So it was good. It couldn't have been a better day, and to get Dustin's first game out of retirement and that first appearance was something that we really wanted, and we were able to make it work. And couldn't have been a more perfect day.
And I would have thought a warm day with 5,000 people in the ground wouldn't have sold many cool drinks for the warm afternoon, I wouldn't have thought.
No, look, it was 26, 27 degrees, so everyone did hydrate very well.
Yeah, excellent. Funnily
I
enough,
did run out of bins there at one stage, and I didn't have enough room to put empty cans.
Funnily enough, despite the amount of hydration that was going on that day, the next morning quite a lot of people looked quite dehydrated, I understand.
Yes, that's correct. There was a few. It was like a parking lot there the next day as well. There was still a lot of cars there. At least people did the right thing and left the car behind the day after. But there would have been a lot of sore heads, I reckon.
Oh yeah, I would have thought so. So he came along, played a game of footy. Did he do a sportsman's night or anything like that as well?
Yeah, so we got him. We got him for Thursday afternoon. I organised him to get down there and to train with all of the kids. The under eights probably had no idea who Dustin Martin was, but that's all right. I'll have the photos in the future. But yeah, so he was really, really, really good with the kids. He trained with several different teams on that night. Did photos and signing sessions and all of that, and then trained with the seniors as well. So trained with the seniors and went in, had a meal and everything after the game as well. And he said he sort of missed the little country feel of the footy club and the Rob Barnett, our chef, he gets in the kitchen there all day cooking a big roast and whatever. He said you sort of miss that as a professional athlete. It takes you back to your grassroots where you remember doing that on a weekly basis when they pick the sides and stuff. So it's pretty unique little thing about our sport. It doesn't really happen at many other codes and stuff, but no, it was good. He got in there for a meal, and then Saturday morning he got to the ground pretty early. Did all the fans and photos and signings, and he didn't turn one person away. I don't reckon he was all over that signature by the end of the day. But and then Saturday played really well. Had 20 odd touches and a couple of iconic fend-offs, and nice. And then rolled into a sportsman's night on the Saturday night, which I think we had about 160 odd people come along to, which was really good.
Yeah, it's really good, I think, to see players giving back. I'm sure $1 or $2 went into his pocket and his airfares and stuff, but to be prepared to go back. And I would have thought someone like Dustin Martin, I know Dermot Brereton had this as an issue. There'd be one or two of the opposition players that go, I'm going to flatten this bloke because then I can tell my mates that I flattened Dustin Martin. I guess you're on a bit of a hiding to nothing as the player.
Yeah, there was. There's always a young fella that wants to try and make his mark in the senior ranks, and there wasn't actually anything that on the day and there wasn't anyone that's tried to run through him on purpose or anything. So it was the game was played in really good spirits, and I think everyone was just in awe that we've managed to get one of the biggest coups in a local footy club in Dustin Martin, arguably one of the best players ever. But no, the game was played in really good spirits, and he gave the opposition side a lot of time after the game as well. And like I said, it was a perfect return for Dustin. He was really appreciative of how well the day was set up. I think he really enjoyed the small town vibe as well. We've only got around 150 juniors. We're a small junior club, and if he had played in, I don't know, Geelong or somewhere, he'd probably get 25,000 through the gate, and it's probably a 10 times bigger day. But I think, Dusty really enjoyed the day, and he actually said to me following the game that it couldn't have went better. He said, perfect to come back and play in front of a small town, and I thanked him not only from the football club side of things, but the impact it has on our town. We've had a bit of a slow start to the tourism season up here, and a lot of businesses sort of feeling the pinch with price rises and all of that sort of thing. So the impact that he's had on our football club and our kids to cherish some memories for the rest of their lives, he also had a really big impact on our town as well, which is, we'll be forever grateful.
I'm talking to Matt Laskey from the Port Douglas Crocs Australian Football Club, I think officially in your part of the world. Footy in your part of the world, Matt, you think people down here in Melbourne would think to themselves, well, not a lot of footy played north of, Brisbane, but it's really big in the sort of Cairns region, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'd say it's. I'd definitely say it goes sort of head-to-head with league and union up here. So AFL is really big in Cairns. It's obviously with the weather being sort of 26, 27 degrees on a Saturday. A lot of southerners, Melbourne, Tassie, SA, all of those colder climate states it's very attractive for the players to come up here and play in perfect conditions once they've played 10 years in 7 or 8 degrees of a Saturday morning. So it's a nice change, and I think that's why it's so attractive on the map, and playing footy in good conditions and a bit more of a laid-back lifestyle around Cairns and Port Douglas as well. So it's good quality footy, and there's some really talented players that run around in the competition up here.
Yeah, and there's a Brisbane Lions legend, Luke Hodge, who I think played a few games for Hawthorn. By the way, I'm broadcasting from Box Hill, and Box Hill is, of course, Hawthorn's. So that's a deliberate ploy to agitate one or two listeners, you understand. But I remember when Luke Hodge went and played those 2 years at Brisbane, and they said to him, "Why'd you do it?" And he said, "It is so much easier to go to training first thing on a winter's morning in Brisbane than it is in Dingley or Waverley, wherever it was in those days." I suspect that's that, and again, in your part of the world, that if you are a bit creaky in your 30s, it's not a bad spot to wake up in the morning to go to training.
No, it is like I said, great climate. And there's another guy that likes to come up here and holiday a fair bit that I wouldn't mind trying to get him along to play in the Crocs jumper as well.
No, sorry, sorry. I was going to say you were going to ask me. I'm past that.
And I think the way he's going, he'll be still playing at 50 anyway. But up here in the nice warm climate where the bones don't ache when it's cold, mate, he might be half a chance, I think, Scotty.
So before I let you go, one question that I guess is sort of doing the rounds a bit at the moment. There's a team going to be joining the AFL in a couple of years called the Tasmania Devils, which of course throws us into that absurd situation where we have an odd number of teams. They're talking about a 20th team. There is some discussion about it being North Queensland. What do you reckon? Would it hold up?
I think so. AFL Cairns up here as well is it's a pretty rich competition, but I think AFL up here would be an unbelievable spot for recruits to come. Like you say, in Brisbane, where it's a bit warmer, we're probably a little bit better climate-wise up here even than Brisbane, and we sort of get 5, 6, 7 months of sort of 26-degree weather and absolutely magic playing conditions. So I could see how to be very appealing for players to come up. Being a Tasmanian myself, and with what's going on with the Devils coming in, it is a little bit worrying that the more and more time goes by, I think the stadium is looking a bit shaky. So we'll have to see what plays out there. But no, AFL up in here in Cairns it'd be an amazing spot to have an AFL side, and I think it'd be very appealing for players to come up and spend a few years up here playing footy for sure. Yeah,
and they've got the stadium, obviously. Now, breaking news, whilst I was waiting I was doing preparation for the program. Hard to believe, I know. When I was doing some prep before, I was flicking through Facebook, and Jeremy Rockcliffe has announced today that the first 2 contractors have been signed to a contract, and that the first activity at Macquarie Point will take place in July.
Oh, there you go. Beautiful.
So it looks like it is on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's good. Very good to hear, because there's been a bit of debate around it, like I said, the last few weeks, whether it's going to happen or not. So it's at least now that all those rumours can be put to bed.
Yeah, Brad and Laskey, who do the VFL Rewind program immediately before this show, was talking to Kath, somebody or other, can't remember his name, McCann maybe, who's heavily involved at the Devils, and they're getting sellouts for VFL and VFLW games, which is just phenomenal. And the fact that they're embracing the north of the state as well. I mean, Hawthorn's kicked up a stink about the fact that they're being asked to leave, but if they can get a Tasmanian team, as you'd appreciate, that embraces both ends of the state, I think that's just a great outcome for Tasmania.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, the buy-in from all the Tasmanians down there with the VFL and the VFLW, they have been putting quite good numbers in for crowd-wise for the VFL games. And sometimes when you watch or go to the VFL games around Melbourne even, there's not a lot of people there sometimes. So to see the Tasmanians investing in what will be an AFL side, and getting in early. It's good to see, and it just shows you that it is a proud football state that probably deserves a Tassie a team in the AFL. So it's good to see it finally happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And like there have been some VFL games that I've called over the journey, then rather than giving out attendance numbers, we just give out everyone's names because it's quicker.
Yeah, Matt, it can be like that sometimes.
Oh, unbelievable, and particularly on a cold day at Victoria Park. Matt, I'm going to let you go and go and sunbake or whatever you do at this time of the night in Port Douglas. Thanks for being part of our Going Up the Country segment, and look forward to keeping in touch.
Thanks very much, mate. Thanks for having me.
And if anyone wants to know more about the Port Douglas Crocs, there's a very fine podcast called the A to Z of Regional Footy Clubs podcast. The P Club, he says, giving away a bit of a hint, is in fact Port Douglas Crocs, and I talk to Matt. So if you want to know a bit more, wait till that comes out in a few weeks' time. Thanks, Matt.